right? We drew a land. Nice. This is very good. This way we can play Homestead Courage as well. He has... So next turn... Do we kill him this turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6... I don't think we kill him this turn. Maybe. What do we want to tax for most? I guess he has Galvanic Iteration and Maddening Cacophony. So he mills what? He mills 16 with that. I think we take the Galvanic Iteration, honestly. Or maybe the Tasha Serious Laughter. Yeah, let's take that. And also, let's play this on the Clarion Spirit. Get our creatures big as well. And we just go in for that damage. That's game. GG. 2 aggro for the mill deck. 2 aggro. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be playing a budget mono white deck. It's a standard best of 1 list with average converted mana cost 1.8, 28 creatures, 10 non-creatures, 22 lands, but we have more than that obviously. The idea behind the deck is to build a less expensive mono white list that absolutely farms anything in its way. And you've probably seen so many versions of this list, but I just gotta say one thing before we jump in. This list is absolutely crazy, especially if you want to rank up quickly. We obviously, de-ranked because the season was over. So if you want to rank up quickly, I'm almost at diamond myself, and mainly because this list wins games quickly, and it also rarely loses. It loses only to one thing, and that one thing is if you don't draw good. So let's get right into the list and break it down for you guys. The list obviously relies around the double spell mechanic, right? And the double spell mechanic requires a lot of cheap cards, right? By turn 3 you're already double spelled twice, or you have to build a board, and you have to go super wide, and you also have to build your creatures based upon double spelling. And the idea behind double spelling is obviously playing Monk of the Open Hand, Clarion Spirit, Code Spell Cleric. And these cards you've seen a lot. There are so many versions of this deck, but this is the version that I'm most happy with because of the power that it has and the interaction that it has as well. A lot of decks that would play a double spell version would usually have a lot of portable holes, a full set of portable holes, and not enough removal. But for me personally, I like the removal, and I like the cheap removal as well because it's very, very important. Removal is really important, and the removal we have in the deck and the interaction we have in the deck makes it a little unstoppable. Obviously, you struggle when you play against a deck that runs Meat Hook Massacre, but you just gotta know where to place your 1/1 counters, and you gotta race that Meat Hook Massacre. You obviously have to build your creatures or invest on one creature that is going to get really big for the Meat Hook Massacre to kill, right? So yeah, so let's break it down, right? 4 Code Spell Clerics. This is a card that you double spell with, right? So you play your first spell, and you have to play this card as a second spell. So it's very good support. It puts a +1/+1 counter. It has vigilance, so it's not bad. Also, we have 2 Homestead Courage, and only 2 because it has flashback. We don't usually want to see so many copies of this in our hand, and we don't want to draw so many copies of this because this gives you the value, it gives you vigilance, it builds your creature, and that's it. You're probably only going to double spell twice with this card, and it's gone, right? So we don't want to see a lot of it. 4 Monk of the Open Hand is very, very crucial here. 2 Portable Hole for the early on removal, because our first couple of turns are going to be really, really crucial. We're an aggro deck. We don't grind, we don't go the long way. No, we can't do that. We have to kill them, and we have to build a board that's so much powerful for our opponent to even deal with. So yeah, 2 portable holes for our early on removal. Also, it's a one mana spell that you can use for your mechanic. For Usher of the Fallen as our Usher of the Fallen is good because sometimes on turn 1 you see a card like this and you see a card like this, but you can't play them on turn one because you want to get the value out of them. So Usher of the Fallen would be a very, very good turn one play. So if you see, for example, Usher of the Fallen, Monk of the Open Hand, and Code Spell Cleric in your hand, you play a Plains, you play Usher of the Fallen turn one, then turn two, you play Monk, and then you play Code Spell Cleric, and then you distribute your +1/+1 counters to whatever, your game plan is. So Usher of the Fallen is a very good turn one play. Also, we have the ace card of the deck, which is Clarion Spirit. Clarion Spirit, everyone knows, it makes it go very, very wide. And also, it can create blockers, it can create flyers. The card has a lot of value, but in order for you to get as much value as possible from this card, you need to play it on turn 3 and double spell as soon as you play it. You just can't play it turn 2 and pass, because as soon as they see this, they're going to want to remove it, because it's a very important card and it can alter the game, especially if you have multiple copies on the battlefield. Also, we have 2 Luminarch Aspirant. The card, just speaks for itself, right? This card is the worst card for Meathook Massacre to play against, because, you can just build a very, very strong board, mainly because of this card. And we also have 2 Thalias. Not really an impactful card into the deck, but the tags with Elite Spellbinder is very important. The longer you push that Meathook Massacre, the longer you push that Doomscar, the longer you push that Blood on the Snow, the better for you. So sometimes you can make something work with Thalia. And also, if you see our removal and you see Thalia and you say, but like the removal is bad, I've picked this specific removal, so if you have Thalia and you don't want to remove anything, you can just play them as lands. They're not getting bricked up in your hand. You're just, it's not important. Your important mission is to tax your opponent, obviously. So when you have like an expensive shelter and expensive Kabira takedown, you just play them as lands, unless you want to wait and actually cast one to remove a creature that your opponent has. Also, we have 2 Valor Stamps because it does 2 important things. One of them is the fact that we don't want to play against creatures that are bigger than ours, because then we can't attack. So creatures that are bigger than ours, we can remove with this card. Also, it's very good against Doomscar, very good against what's it called, Blood on the Snow. And also, you can make a lot of plays with this card. For example, you're attacking into a creature that has the same power and toughness as your creature. You can just surprise him, cast this, give indestructible, and get rid of his important creature. This obviously gets rid of Edgar, Valkyrie, Lear, Goldspan, anything that gets too big. I even got rid of a Luminarch Aspirant that got too big for me with this card. So it obviously does a lot of work for the deck, and it's very important. And now we get to the very controversial part of the deck, which is the 3-drops. The deck relies on a lot of cheap spells, so for you to have 3-drops, it's not really synergizing very well with the deck, because 3-drops are expensive and for the deck, and you can't really double spell with 3-drops. But here's the thing. We're playing 22 lands, right? And we're also playing 2 copies of the Shelter and 2 copies of Kapira Takedown. So let's move those here. How many lands do you count here? 22, 24, 26 lands. You can easily on turn 5 double spell with these creatures. That's how I built the deck around. Because if you don't have these, for example, and you're loaded on 1 mana spells, and you're loaded on 2 mana spells, and then you have these over here, you're basically not going to be hitting your land drops, and you're not going on turn 5. It's going to be so difficult for you to double spell, But the way I built the deck is for it to be able to double spell at every turn possible, as long as you have the option to double spell. And obviously, these cards are very important. Elite Spellbinder is a very important card, and without it, the deck kind of struggles, because you need the tax, because your main the bane to the deck is Meathook Massacre, and you need to hit a Meathook Massacre, so you have to have Elite Spellbinder. Also, Brutal Cathar is very good as our other removal card that can be a creature, and also you can invest +1/+1 counters on it. It can swing, obviously when it flips it's pretty good, so you have to have these 2. And it's budget, because we don't play all of the expensive cards, like all of the rares. For example, you know, we have this deck, and you have the not so budget deck, which is this one. This one obviously plays so much rares, and it's so expensive to play this deck, right? This is obviously the more powerful version of mono white, but it's a completely different version than the one we're playing. We're playing a budget deck that competes. We're playing a budget deck that gets the job done. You know, you don't need to play that expensive deck to get there. Obviously, I'm not a meta player, so I will never be playing that deck, the other one, the expensive one. Although the expensive one can be a little different and a little more powerful. The expensive one can have a lot of presence, especially with cards like Adeline. You know, Adeline has 4 toughness. It's very hard to deal with. But yeah, a budget deck that can compete, a budget deck that you can easily build, because a lot of these cards are older cards, and a lot of them you probably can craft and have, you know. And if you want a way to rank up quickly within the ladder, you can use this deck easily because the games are just so quick, you know. And that's where the deck is pretty fun to play and not very boring, because you're not going the long haul. Once you go the long haul and once you get your board wiped, you're pretty much gone, you know. Just move on to the next game, honestly. But so let's look at the Untapped real quick, because I still haven't seen how the deck did. That's pretty funny. I'm probably going to record more, but the deck went 7-0. It's a 100% win rate deck, right? The deck went 7-0 for the time that I played it, and it only lasted 29 minutes, so 30 minutes. So if you're playing a control deck, you can play literally 30 minutes if you're playing a control mirror for one match, but we played 7 matches for 30 minutes, which is obviously very good. We beat Blood on the Snow, we beat Mono White, we beat Gruul, I think that was Bard class. We beat vampires. We beat a mill deck easily. We beat another Blood on the Snow list, and I think this was a what was this? I think this was werewolves. Yeah, I think so. Obviously, I'm probably going to record more, but I just wanted to show you how the deck does. It's obviously, for now, it's a 100% win rate deck, but you know that's not going to last, because you're going to get screwed over, right, at some point. But I just wanted to showcase that we're not losing because of our deck and our strategy. If we were to lose, I think we would lose to our draw. That's the only thing. If we come across a game and that we don't draw good, we're going to lose. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the list. Obviously, the deck list is going to be included down in the description. And if you find any value, if you appreciate that I'm going the budget route within, you know, the decks and playing something that's a little different, this deck is obviously my creation, and the idea behind the Shelter and, for example, the Kabira Takedown, it complements the deck very well. You've obviously seen Kabira Takedown in a lot of mono white lists, but I like it with Clarion Spirit. I like it with the idea of the list. We go stupid wide, right? Shelter obviously provides protection. Valor Stance provides protection and does a lot of things, and obviously these are all instants, so you can make endless plays when it comes to this deck. It's not really boring all that much, because it's kind of challenging, because your draw can be a lot different, you know. Every game can differ, and that's where the challenge is. You have to build your strategy from ground zero. You're not drawing the same cards over and over. No, it's different every match, so that's where the fun is. So if you find any value within my decks, I would appreciate it if you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more lists. I'm obviously, you know, not a huge fan of mono white, but at the same time, I want to create something that's viable and that's usable for everyone to use, and something that's kind of different. This deck is obviously a nightmare when you're playing against it, but at the same time, it's not the same mono white deck that you see over and over and over. And also, like, we've pretty much covered a lot of decks into the channel, and we're reaching a point where it's getting like too stale, right? So we need to we're obviously waiting for the new set, and when the new set comes, we're gonna cover it. But yeah, with that being said, like the video, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the gameplay, and I'll see you later with another video. Okay, bye. All right. This is kind of clunky. We need one more one drop, but it's okay. We also need one more land. Just pass here. If he has a turn 1 play, we can probably play Code Spell Cleric and Portable Hole. Yeah, just pass again. We have a turn 3 Clarion Spirit. Put it on the token. Nice. This is not bad. This is, you know, it's okay. Kaya Geist Hunter. Alright. Slamming the Kaya here means she dies. Right? Definitely play the monk first here. And then Usher of the Fallen or Homestead Courage. Probably, he has a Meat Hook Massacre next turn, so probably buff our creatures a little more. I do want to buff the Clarion Spirit here, so that we don't, like, you know, die to Meat Hook Massacre pretty badly. Yeah, just kill Kaya. Deal some damage. Man, I wish we top decked like a elite spellbinder. That'd be better. Edgar. Edgar's fine. Edgar is definitely fine. But we don't have land, so we need to double spell as well. He's obviously getting really close to a very good very good Meat Hook Massacre. We do need to double spell. But do we? If he casts, yeah, he gets Edgar back if he kills the Bordeaux Cathar with the Meat Hook Massacre. So what I think we do is just invest. Yeah. Just play Usher of the Fallen here. Play Homestead Courage on the Clarion Spirit. Let's just get the Clarion Spirit as far out of range as possible here. And yeah, just attack with these. And pass. So that if he wipes the board, our Clarion Spirit survives a Meat Hook Massacre, right? Eye twitch. Okay, so he's investing on the board himself. What does that tell us? We have to play Elite Spellbinder here. We just absolutely have to. Alright, Deadly Dispute. Village Rites. So no Meat Hook Massacre. That's pretty good for us. That's really good for us. Let's tax the Edgar here. And yeah, I think we go all in here, right? Yeah, let's get in for as much damage as possible. Doesn't matter if Usher dies or he's gonna want to draw with the Eye Twitch. If he manages to top deck a Meat Hook Massacre, that's pretty bad. But if all he plays next turn is an Edgar, that's really good. Because we can take Edgar with the Bordeaux Cathar and just, you know, go from there. He got Pest Summoning for blockers. Okay, so he needs a Meat Hook Massacre. Or a board wipe of some sorts. Yes, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, all of our creatures die here with the Meat Hook Massacre. No Meat Hook Massacre, that's game. Alright, this could be good. We're not going to play anything until turn 2. So do we play Kabira Takedown tapped? It's our only removal, right? And I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. Let's see what we draw next turn. It all depends. Nice. We drew a third land. So eventually we'd want to keep something for the Clarion Spirit. So I'm probably going to play the Monk here and just pass. So that next turn we can play Clarion Spirit and the Homestead Courage. And go from there. Is it? Okay. That's a challenge, right? Spellbinder could be a nice follow-up for next turn, but for now we're just going to play the Clarion Spirit here. Dodge a Joari Disruption. Also, play a Homestead Courage on the Monk, most likely. Because if he wants to remove something, his target would probably be, you know, Clarion Spirit. But yeah, we just know he has Joari Disruption, which is fine. Rune Crab. Okay. We can kill the Rune Crab, right? For sure we can. He milled 3 lands. So if we... it's not possible that we draw a land. Okay. We need to look at his hand as well. But we also need to get in for as much damage as possible and kill the Rune Crab. Let's use Kabira Takedown on the Rune Crab. Five damage. Has to be good for us. Next turn we have Elite Spellbinder, but I just hope that we can draw a land so that we don't like get countered by Joari Disruption. He's close to death here, unless he has a board wipe. Yeah, this is pretty terrible for us because of our deck, right? We drew a land. Nice. This is very good. This way we can play Homestead Courage as well. He has... So next turn... Do we kill him this turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6... I don't think we kill him this turn. Maybe. What do we want to tax for most? I guess he has Galvanic Iteration and Maddening Cacophony. So he mills what? He mills 16 with that. I think we take the Galvanic Iteration, honestly. Or maybe the Tasha Serious Laughter. Yeah, let's take that. And also, let's play this on the Clarion Spirit. Get our creatures big as well. And we just go in for that damage. That's game. GG. 2 aggro for the mill deck. 2 aggro. Alright. This is fine. So... Okay, I'm gonna play Usher here, play Aspirant on turn 2, and if we draw a land, play probably Clarion Spirit and Homestead Courage on turn 3. We didn't draw a land. Do we play Aspirant first? Or do we play Monk? We can play Monk and Homestead Courage, because once he sees the Aspirant, he's going to want to kill it. So yeah, let's do that right now, because obviously he has something, right? And the Homestead Courage is going to be on the Usher. Yeah. Just attack. If he removes Usher, it's fine. We'd rather he removes Usher than to remove like an Aspirant or something, because obviously he has like a response, right? Yeah, Rakdos, Florian. Florian is whatever, right? We drew a land, which is good, but next turn he kills the Clarion Spirit for sure. So what we do, we also need to make a blocker for the Florian here. We can go Clarion Spirit, Homestead Courage. This becomes a 4/4. So I like this idea. Just invest on the monk. This way the monk gets too big for the Florian. We also make a blocker for the Florian on the swing back. And we also try to apply as much damage as possible. Right, also get the monk out of reach for a Meat Hook Massacre here. Yeah. Okay, I'm fine with that. Just block here. Harvester. We have to double spell here, right? So Monk, Aspirant. Not that it really matters. I guess just we have to swing though. He blocks one of these. But we need to get one out of range for a Meat Hook Massacre. So probably the Usher here. And we don't attack. We can attack, right? I mean, probably just attack with the Usher here. I'm fine with the trade. This way he doesn't kill the Clarion Spirit. So let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. I'm fine with that. This block tells me that he has a Meat Hook Massacre, right? And he wants to kill the 3 toughness creature. That also opens the way for his Florian, so maybe we should have played Elite Spellbinder. Nice, that's a good sign. He discarded Angie. Hello? So now he no longer has Meat Hook Massacre this turn. But we also, we have to be very clear of what to play around. It's very greedy if he attacks with the Florian. Very greedy. Okay, Code Spell Cleric. Let's okay, let's think about that. We can make a play here. We can definitely make a play here. We can kill the Florian. Yeah, let's kill Florian. Let's double spell here. This gets 4/4. Doesn't matter, I guess. Well, it does, but you know, they all die to a Meat Hook Massacre anyway. He's at 5 mana, so if this becomes a 3/3, let's just invest onto a flyer. Do we? No, let's just invest on the Clarion Spirit for now. And that's game. Alright, good game. Alright. Man, this hand is kind of terrible, honestly. Because with this hand, you can only double spell once. But we have so many 1-drops. We have so many 1-drops that we can draw, right? So I'm going to keep this anyway. We're playing against green. Drawing this many lands can't be good. Or Gruul, Bard class. Kabira, takedown. If we draw a 1-drop next turn, that's good. A 1-drop creature, hopefully. Tovolar. Alright, third monk, Kabira takedown, won't kill the Tovolar, so let's just play Brodal Cathar here. And swing. This way our Kabira takedown is better for next turn, right? Unless he kills one of our creatures, of course. But the wider we go, the better Kabira takedown is. Delina. It's good that we're drawing this much removal. So yeah, play a monk. Play Kabira takedown on the Delina. Deal that damage and swing. That's what the deck does. That's what it's built for, you know? Remove any obstacles and just swing. Bard class, though. I would love to draw another Bard class. Okay. That's a good sign. 5 mana. Nice. Another Brodal Cathar. Yeah, that's very annoying, right? But GG. Man, it's almost too easy when we're ranking up like crazy. Alright, yikes. Yikes. Obviously Code Spell Cleric is a good second, you know, second spell support. So this hand, man, I don't know. We also go first. Pass. Let's just pass for now. See what we draw next turn. Nice. See? That's why I passed. Monk. Code Spell Cleric. Probably just on the monk. Opponent is already annoyed? Okay. That works for me. Alright. Let's hit a Elite Spellbinder here. I'm going to take the Veteran here. So that when he plays a Valkyrie next turn, obviously this is his engine. Yeah, he plays a Valkyrie here. Do we tax the other Valkyrie? No. Let's kill one of the Valkyries here. Let's go absolutely crazy. Let's put that on the Spellbinder. Swing. He plays another Valkyrie. Alright, if we tax his Voice of the Blessed, he can still play it. So no matter what, he's playing something next turn. So what do? We have to do something about that, right? We have to play this, since we can double spell as well. 2 Valkyries. Let's take the Voice of the Blessed here. Also, we play Homestead Courage on the Elite Spellbinder. Get the Monk big, get the Spellbinder big. Right? And go from there. And that's game. It's just too much for him to handle. He has to block with the Valkyrie. He has to block with the Voice of the Blessed. His plans are just gone. So, GG. That's too easy. Alright, Monk. Probably play Monk on turn 2. Let's play this and pass. Yeah, we're just relying on the draw here. Thankfully, we don't have a lot of lands in the deck. So what do we do in this case? Let's play the Monk. Since we didn't draw a 1-drop, right? Let's play the Monk. Alright. We play the Spellbinder here. Let's get as as wide as possible here. So what's his turn 3 play? Wedding announcement. Do we tax that? Probably. Because if we tax well, tainted adversaries are pretty bad for us, right? But we have protection. Edgar we can take. Tainted adversary we have protection against. But wedding announcement has so much value, so we tax that. And we pass. He obviously is going to swing with the Luminarch Aspirant, so we need to tax that. We need to deal with that as well. Okay, adversary. It's a pretty weird pile, but obviously it's a value pile as well, so. Okay. We have Kabir takedown, but it's not as good right now. We also want to save the Brutal Cathar for his Edgar, right? So what we do here is probably just... It's pretty bad that we're not drawing our cheap spells, right? Next turn we can double spell for sure. So just attack with the Elite Spellbinder. I think next turn is going to be our removal turn. This is pretty rough, that's for sure. Question is, do we kill the Elite Spellbinder? We need the Valor Stance to double spell, so let's just let him have it. He plays another Tainted Adversary. Okay. We pretty much have to rely on our Spellbinder here. That's pretty terrible. So, if we play the Valor Stance, he takes Kabir takedown. And with that, we just have to kill the Aspirant, unfortunately. Yeah, just take it. Doesn't matter. Pretty bad. But do we double spell? We need to take the Edgar. He knows about Brutal Cathar, so it's whatever, honestly. Let's just double spell here. Take one of them. Let's just be as aggressive as possible here, since we know he doesn't have removal in hand currently. But he can stick this and play the Wedding Announcement, which is pretty bad, so he has to play Edgar unless he drew a very good card here. Okay, so probably Edgar, since he knows we just played Brutal Cathar. He also, he forced us to do a play that we don't want to do, but... killing the Aspirant has to be good because it was getting too big. So at least we got something out of that. We have to adapt to whatever we're playing against. He can wipe the board if he drew a Meat Hook Massacre. He's highlighting Vanishing Verse. Okay. Alright. Let's just start assaulting him with that. Flip the Brutal Cathar, so that if he double spells or if we double spell, we can do something about that. This is nice. This is very nice. Let's play that. I would have loved to keep it, honestly, to double spell, but you just can't really play Monk. He drew removal, right? He's at what? 3 -3 on the Meat Hook Massacre. So yeah, that's obviously a removal since he passed like that. But we don't want to play the cave into the removal here. This is obviously very good for us because if he wipes the board, he taps out and we can just attack with the cave and win. So it's a pretty much done deal here. Managed to play around all of his disruption. Soren can gain him life, sure, but I'm not sure Soren can keep him alive.
I am vengeance,
Okay.
bloody and righteous. I bring my own army.
I'm not sure Soren does the job for him. Because we don't attack Soren, we just go all in face, and then we also attack with the cave. He blocks the cave because it's the most damage, and then he gains 2 life, he's at 4, and we have way more than 4. So yeah, he obviously has something for 1 mana. I wonder what it is. Is he going to rope us? That's fun. No, opponent is just thinking. Homestead Courage. We obviously don't play that, right? Yeah, we go for the cave here. Cave gets blocked. Let's invest onto the monk. Attack phase. He blocks the aspirant. But you're dead. This has first strike. GG.